Steve, overnight or in the last 24 hours or so, there's been reports about Cohen Bramall's future and the prospect of a move to Portsmouth. What's your take on his scenario?
You can't keep secrets in football, can you? No secrets. Yeah, listen, I think the clubs are in dialogue. How far it's gone down the road, Andy. I think some people are perhaps running away themselves. That I read one report that said that Cohen's travelling to Portsmouth today for a medical. But you've just seen me walk by. I'm at my office and he's been training. So the clubs are talking, but nothing has been confirmed.
Right. And is he somebody you will be prepared to see go in this window?
Listen, as a manager, I think I listened to Unai Emery last night talking about some players at Aston Villa, and you don't want to lose good players. Cohen's a good player. But you have to respect that if a club outside Rotherham United places a value on any player and he's out of contract in the summer, it may be right for that club to sell. So that's my understanding of where we were when I spoke to Rob this morning.
Right. It is the January transfer window, so might it depend on your own wishes in this window?
No, Cohen has got nothing to do with what we'll do. We're trying to do some business. We're really as close as almost touching it. And so from that point of view, we're close, but until formalisations and signatures are done, Andy, you're never done. We know what football's like. You know, I've had players in the training ground and go the back door and go somewhere else. And I've had them in the training ground somewhere else and come here. So, but we're close on a couple. But it doesn't affect us what Cohen does.
Right, because you were talking this week about a player that played for a team that's been involved in European football. Has there been a green light in that respect?
The only development we've got in that is that the only concerns that football club has is about very similar to we've just seen at Manchester City with players being loaned out. There's only so many from the top clubs can be loaned out at one time. So they're now considering the various options they got for different players. But I'm confident enough to say that if the lad does come out, he'll come here.
Right. And in terms of volume, I mean, how many plates are you spinning right now for incomings?
I think 3 or 4, because on the basis we see probably 2, maximum 3 coming in. Probably nearer 2 than 3, if I'm honest. But you can't just spin it in one direction. It's only one striker that we're talking to or in the mix for. We're in for several, and Rob's getting on with those negotiations behind the scenes. But like every manager, you have a wish list that you would love to see, but we're also against the clock, aren't we, with the clock Monday night? So, and we have full focus, quite rightfully, should be Birmingham City, because the minute we take our focus from that, we'll get wiped.
Clearly, it being a transfer window, something might happen that's unforeseen, but in terms of other departures, Bramall pending, potentially, I suppose, is anybody else, or could anybody else be shipped out? No,
as far as I'm aware, no. We've had offers for players, and our board have asked me for values. This is throughout the month, and I've given them the values, and they've not been met. So, as far as I'm concerned, there's none other of the senior players. 1 or 2 of the younger players may have to go and get some football, but we're really limited on numbers, as you know as well. We have lot of injuries and knocks, etc. So we have to be careful that they keep the balance of the group in.
Alex McDonald being the latest. How is he today?
I think Mac will be a couple of weeks minimum. Just high up in the groin area. We're set up for a scan today. People hear the word scan and get nervous, but we show him at Williams. Will be back on the grass on Monday, and when we initially thought 5 or 6 weeks, we shot him. So we just have to let that scan take place, and then we'll be able to give you more of an update next week.
Right. So in terms of Birmingham, then, is it the same squad, similar squad?
Yeah, very similar squad. There maybe one player might be added to it. He might arrive in Rotherham tonight. Depends on.
So you are that confident then, aren't you?
Well, I'm confident that something can happen. I'm confident something can happen. You
might as well just say now, Steve.
Yeah, we're confident something can happen. But as I said to you, I got permission this morning to speak to a player, which I spoke to, and he seems very keen, and so does. I think Rob's telling me we're very, very close in doing it. So I'll over to Rob.
Right. Well, yes, Birmingham City, no harder challenge in League One this season. How do you approach it?
With great care, but with no fear and lots of respect. I think everyone in this league, including myself in the past, has spoken about how much money that the likes of Birmingham, particularly Birmingham, and Wrexham and others are spending. But Chris Davis can only spend it wisely, can he? He can only spend it wisely. And him and the coaching staff and the people above him have spent it very, very wisely. They've got a squad that for me will grace the championship and do very well. And I repeat what I said in August. I think they'll win the league by 10, 12 points. I still think that. But it doesn't mean to say that 3 of those points could come against us on Saturday.
So often this season we've spoke to you about expectation and whether they're being met or not. With this particular match, can there be a slightly freer mind? There is perhaps less expectation going to St Andrews.
Well, I speak to a lot of managers in League One, Andy, and every time they see Birmingham City, St Andrews, they've won a lot of games by the odd goal, so it's not as easy for Birmingham as some people think it is the actual when it comes to the games. But a lot of managers have described it to me as a free hit when you go to St Andrews. And that's almost what it feels like. I suppose it was when Manchester City were at the Pomp or Liverpool. Now you're going to Anfield. If you're a club that's bottom half of the Premier League, you get a free hit because no one in the country outside probably your staff, some of your supporters, your players think they can get something. And we'll be of that ilk on Saturday. But I love going to St Andrews. I've been there my last 2 occasions, once with Leeds and once with Rotherham, and both the same result and both good nights.
So is there a trick to it then?
No, listen, we just have to be organised, have to work hard. We've got a real respect for Birmingham City as a football club. You know, there'll be in excess of 30,000 there on Saturday, and there'll be a fervent atmosphere and a strong performance and a real disciplined performance for us on the pitch and of course off it.
So, thank you very much.
Steve, the player who may travel tonight, is that the long striker with the
No.
big club? No, is that because I know we spoke earlier in the week, you mentioned midfield target, you want to talk to his family
Yeah.
the day after Tuesday. Is it that
Yeah, I spoke to the lad's family, then I got permission from his parent club to actually speak to the boy, which they wanted me to do, obviously. So I had an hour's Zoom call with the boy this morning, and we're just now waiting, literally sat waiting to see if it's a tick in the box. Rob tells me it's as close as touching it, and he should be travelling to Rotherham this evening, so we'll see.
In terms of the long striker, we spoke Tuesday, he said you thought you would hear from his parent club on Friday whether they were letting him out or not. Is that still the...
Yeah, listen, I got it earlier than Friday, I got it today, just to say that they're being respectful of us, they're being respectful of the boy, obviously, he's their employee, but they're just subject to international rules that if players go out on loan, they're only allowed so many. And if there's players in that first team squad who are high up the pecking order in terms of values and cost wages wise, there has to be a decision that others take priority because there's a fixed number. As Manchester City have found out, they can't put any more players out on loan because their maximum has gone out that group.
Yeah. So if he does go out, it's Rotherham and nowhere else.
Well, yeah.
Top of the list, yeah.
Well, we're top of the list, but the ramifications are if he crosses border, then it's an international transfer, which there may be reasons then to keep him within his own country.
First of all, how are you assessing current form and the general state of play for the team right now?
Yes, it's been okay. It's been decent. I think last time I spoke to yourselves, it was we were looking for a bit of a reaction. I think we've had that recently. So yeah, things are looking positive.
Even in the space of one game the other day against Cambridge, there was a talk of a lack of intensity in the first half that was very much there in the second.
Yeah, it's nice to come from behind as well. I think it might be the first time we've done it and took all 3 points all season. I could be wrong on that, but it doesn't seem like we've done it that often, especially at the start of the season. So it's nice to show that side of us, which we've all known is in there. But it's showing it and putting the results on the table.
The team had some cracking performances, not least against Charlton and Bolton Wanderers here. And then you get Burton. It all seems a bit inexplicable at the minute.
I think all you need to do is look across every league in the country. Look at the Premier League, for example. It's like everyone beats everyone. I think Nottingham Forest absolutely flying and get whacked 5-0 by Bournemouth. There's results all over the country like that. So I don't think that's anything against a group. I just think that's maybe a bad day at the office or a good day at the office from Burton. So they've gone again and got another result. They're showing signs of moving forward as well as a team. So can't take no one lightly. Every game's a big test and no bigger one than the weekend.
No, there is. Are you as a group still confident? Because there is an expectation on this squad to be challenging for the playoffs. That you're going to be there. You can be consistent enough to get there.
Yeah, of course. I've not really looked at it like that, to be honest, especially with the start we had. But I think game by game, I think it's very cliche, but that's all you can do. massive one on Saturday, another big one in the cup on Tuesday, then another big one on Saturday. So it's just each game as it comes, and you start looking too far ahead and looking at how many points away you are, I think you'll only fall further behind. So yeah, let's just try and keep the performances where they've been for most of the part of it recently, and go from there.
What about you? How much are you enjoying regular first team football this year?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. Yeah, I was obviously disappointed when I came out the side, but enjoying to get a little run of games again now. It's just part and parcel of it. You can't. We were so down after the Burton game the other day as a team and a squad and a management sort of thing, but you really can't get too high or too low. Again, another pretty basic comment from me, but you literally can't, because in this game, 1 minute you'll feel on top of the world and the next minute it's the worst thing in the world. But it's nice to play games, it's enjoyable, it's what I want to do, it's what I've always wanted to do, and to have the opportunity is good.
However, what's not basic is, how did you turn yourselves around then? Because there has to be presumably a degree of resetting, if you are in the circumstances like you were post Burton, to then get yourself up for the Cambridge game.
Yeah, I don't think it took a lot really. I think it was just put it to bed, to be honest with you, not overthink about it and over talk about it, and going back to the 4 or 5 games previous to that, and remembering that, and obviously being at home was a help. That helps, gives you good memories of the last 2 or 3 home games. So yeah, I don't think anyone lost any belief just through one game. Like I said, it's in England, in the Football League, people beat people. Like, it doesn't matter where you are league position really. Every game's different. Every game's a new test. So yeah.
You mentioned the next game. It's arguably the biggest test in League One at the moment. What's your take on Birmingham?
Oh yeah, obviously a very good side with some very good quality. But again, it is just another game, and we're looking forward to it. We prepare the same. Obviously, you're going to St Andrews, it's more than likely going to be full or whatever. So it's a big game in that sense. But it is just another game. There's 3 points up for grabs, and hopefully we can go there with the same energy and intent that we showed in the second half against Cambridge from the off, and get a good start.
I wonder if the teams that aren't Birmingham, whether there's a degree of motivation to look at them and go, well, we're going to try and knock you off your perch.
Of course there is, yeah. Of course there is. They'll know that as well, though, and they are where they are in the league because they've dealt with that well. So they know everyone's going there, and it's a big game for everyone to go there and play against Birmingham. They know they're the big guns, but they've obviously dealt with that well so far, being in the position they are. So yeah, they won't be taking us for granted, that's for sure.